It always feels like my parents end up leaving without warning, and I always have to rush to narrate these just in case they end up barging through the door while I'm talking. Anyway, how's it going, guys? I have another battle for the Colonoscopists, and yeah, this one was a lot of fun. So it was against some guy. I'm not entirely sure if he was a noob or not. He didn't seem like, you know, uber tryhard pro, but then again, neither am I. So let's get straight to the team preview. So looking at his team, he has an Emolga. What else do I say? Also, Zero, please fix this. I understand that it's like, I don't know, probably pretty difficult to fix, but this is annoying as hell, me being on the other side. Regardless, threats on his team, basically is that Suicune, if it's Crocoon, then I'm screwed. Mienshao can be a problem if Gligar dies. Rotom Cut, I'll have to figure out the set, and if Gligar goes down, then I will have a huge problem with Bisharp. Porygon 2 is also bulky as hell, and I actually don't have Toxic on this team, but I do have Taunt on my Gligar, so just in case he needs to kill me off with, you know, Ice Beam or whatever, I can taunt him and then go into something like, I don't know, Heracross. Also, I have Trick on my Chandelure, which can effectively cripple him. But yeah, this was an interesting battle, so let's get straight into it. So he's going to lead off with his Mienshao, I'm going to lead off with my Mew. I'm going to go for the Protect just to see what kind of set he is, and he does end up going for the Fake Out, so that tells me that he's more than likely a Life Orb set, but he doesn't have Life Orb, which is a little weird. I'm just going to set up my rocks, because I know he's going to U-turn, and then he goes into his Bisharp. For some reason, in my mind, I thought that Mew would be slower, so I could take out his sub with the explosion. But I got a little scared there, then I realized that I have Gligar, and this thing Gligar walls this thing for days. He's gonna predict my next Earthquake and go for a, go into his Rotom. I don't know why I taunted there, that seemed a little unnecessary. By this Leaf Storm damage, I'm gonna say that that's Specs, although that's just coming off of my mind. I don't really know that. So he sends in his Emolga, and 2-hit KOing a Flying type after Stealth Rocks. I mean, I guess, you know, Stealth Rocks had a big component there, but, you know, it's still nice. He sends in his Mienshao. I am, of course, afraid of the Fake Out and the High Jump Kick and all the stuff. So I'm just going to go into my Chandelure, and I thought he would go into his Porygon 2 because of Trace. So I go for the Trick here as he sends in his Suicune. Now I get leftovers, which probably means that he was Crocoon, so that's great. This thing is effectively crippled, and I can still trick his P2 because all I really need to do is get rid of that Violet. Anyway, I'm gonna scare him out with the Shaman and go back into my Heracross. This thing is a huge threat. Go for the CC on Switch, kill off or did he switch? No, he didn't switch. Basically, I kill through 2 things for free here with Close Combat. And now I'm at +2, sends in his Suicune, and it lives this close combat with 6%. Suicune's too bulky, man. And he's just gonna kill me off with the Scald. He is now locked into Scald, so I can safely go into my Shaman. As he does end up going into his Porygon 2, which is 3-hit KO'd, unless I get the Special Defense drop. He's gonna switch, go into his Bisharp. That thing is gonna die to a Seed Flare. No way that's living. Life Orb Shaman's too powerful. Suicune's gonna die to Rocks, and then he's going to send in his Porygon 2, which could easily get 2-hit KO'd by a Seed Flare, but he actually ends up going for killing me off with an Ice Beam, which means that I can revenge kill him with Gligar. Kill him off with a U-turn. That was a really fun game. So this is going to more than likely be a doubleheader, although I actually don't have a battle ready, so I'm just gonna keep on getting some until I can narrate some more. So yeah, I'll be back when that happens. Right, so I really need to back away from the mic. Wow, that was probably really annoying in the first battle, but oh well, I'm gonna try to stay away from the mic, or at least not be as close. Anyway, this is the second battle. Things happened in it. I don't know, it was, I think, the 3rd match in a series of matches that I had, and it was probably the most fun. But there is one that I will more than likely show, so you'll see that at the end probably. So looking at the team preview, his team looks really stally from the looks of it. I mean, you know, you have a bunch of bulky things like that Coffagrigus and Registeel and Swampert. Although, I would need to figure out the set of something like Togekiss, and the Cofagrigus, and the Mew. Manchow is kind of obvious, but, you know, it could be either Scarfed or something else. And that Swampert might be Banded or Curse, depending on if his Registeel has Stealth Rocks or not. His team, in general, looks kind of slow, so it could be a Trick Room team, but at that time, I did not know. Also, that Togekiss is definitely a threat, but once I get Swampert out of the way, his team gets royally just destroyed by Chandelure. So that's something I noticed. So let's get right into the battle. I'm going to lead off with my Mew. When do I not? And I go for the Protect just to see what kind of Manchow it is. Again, 2 times in a row. But it does turn out that he is a Life Orb set, which is good to know. I'm just going to set up my Rocks as he U-turns out into his Registeel. I'm going to go straight for the Taunt here. I thought he would switch. You know, that seems like a situation where you would switch, right? But he doesn't. He just stays in and S-tosses. I'm going to go into my Chandelure. Let me show you some powerful damage here. Overheat on a resisted water type. Swampert's bulky, but not bulky enough to take some of those. My god. Now, here, I find out he's Banded, but like, Predonctions, whatever. I don't know. That pretty much cost me my Shaman, and Shaman also had a, you know, kind of wrecked his team. Sharpedo, though, can kill that Manchow with a crit Dark Pulse. Not bad, I gotta say. Instant revenge, pretty much. He goes for the Body Slam. Why? I don't know, but, you know, to each his own, whatever. That's how you play Pokemon. I'm just going to kill it off with 2 Ice Beams. He's going to go into his Registeel. Right now, he's basically preparing the perfect scenario for me to destroy with Chandelure. So I'm going to go into the Chandelure now. Because of that Lefties, I'm not sure if a Specs Shadow Ball will be able to kill. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go for Overheat. And that means that he can't switch into a Swampert, but that's fine because I can essentially just use my Gligar's Death Water, except for the fact that I'm faster than him and kill him with an Earthquake. Now here, if this Mew was actually Nasty Plot, then I could have been in a lot of trouble, because then I'd have to go into my Heracross and go for the Mega Horn, but he has Cofagrigus, whatever. But he's not, and I can live a Leftovers Mew's Psychic for, any day, and just clean up the rest of his team with Chandelure. So, yeah, that was also a fairly fun game. Just kind of Chandelure. Heracross didn't do anything.